views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Well, my girl's got the sweetest pussy, nestles in her lap.
Welcome to
CinCityBounty.com.
I missed you guys.
We are a hot mess without you.
Right. When you're not here, we get so confused. We're like, dot.
Net.
We can't do it in
.org?
unison. It's, yeah.
.orgasm.
.xxx. I don't know. We just get really confused.
We would get CinCityBounty.Vegas, except that is like a $150 domain name, and so fuck that.
I think it's useless.
I think so too. I mean, I automatically go to .com.
Yep, everybody does. I highly suggest it. Even the .orgs. If you're an actual .org, still buy the .com and point it to your .org.
By the .com,
You
.net,
point it
.org.
to your .org. It just sounds dirty.
I'll point it at my .org.
So I didn't even get to listen to the last couple of shows with just you guys.
That's
and
fine.
I haven't even caught up, so
I'm sure we were fabulous.
I would
Whatever.
assume so.
I'm sure we were hilarious.
Our audience is probably still with us, right?
Most of them. You know, my mom's in.
I love that your mom is in.
My mom tried to blame me this weekend for knowing more about my sexual life than she needs to know, but I told her it's your own fault. You listen to the show. You know better, and yet still you tune in.
And I jumped in that's my favorite part. So I prefer when she listens to the show.
So we might get a little political later, but I first want to start with Sierra and I went and stopped to get some munchies on the way here, and with those munchies we got fortune cookies.
Yes, at Very Fast Black and White Bear, we got fortune cookies.
Yes.
You like that Very Fast Black
I
and
do.
White Bear?
And
Pandas are like fat and slow. Like, I'm a panda, but in human form.
So they
I
gave
didn't
us
get that.
they gave us fortune cookies, and without even asking them to, they gave us 3, even though I only ordered 1 entree and a side. Whatever. Like I'm a fat chick who wants 3 cookies or some shit.
So we're going to start the show with reading our fortunes that we got. Mine is a statement. You have firm convictions, stand strong behind them.
In bed.
We'll explain that in a minute.
Mine is a change of heart will bring back what is lost.
In bed. Mine is your kind attitude will keep others afloat. I can't say that with a straight face. In bed. So, for those of you who have any sort of pop culture knowledge, you know that you're supposed to add in bed to the end of your
Well, your tradition
fortune
is.
cookies. No, that's not my tradition. That's like an international thing.
Yeah,
That's not
even
me.
I
love
have
that.
never heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
You must not ever watch TV then.
Of course, I am Asian.
Yeah.
So we don't treat fortune cookies that
It's
way.
not my thing. It's not something. This is something I
She didn't
culturally
make it up.
appropriated from somebody else. No, my family's tradition is that when we eat Chinese food or Asian American food, because it's really not Chinese food, and we have fortune cookies, we ask each other a question, and the other person's fortune answers your question. So we just kind of like do a round robin around the table, and it is actually pretty cool.
That's a cool tradition.
Yeah.
We'll have to try it next time. There's a group of us.
It's a lot of fun because it's crazy, scary, accurate.
Do you have any fortune cookie traditions?
I'm not that deep. Like, you fucking grab the cookie fast or I'm going to take them all. That's kind of my tradition. If you leave it there too long, it becomes mine, and then all the fortunes become my property as well. That's about my only tradition. Fortune cookie, then pay. That's about it.
So,
It's your ASMR for the day.
in my my family's tradition, or my tradition, adopted from my family. I don't know what my sister. She might do something completely different. But if it's a statement, then you don't have to hold on to it. You can let it go. If it's a prediction like yours is, where a change of heart will bring you something.
A change of heart will bring you back what is lost.
Right. So if there is something that you have lost and you want to bring it back, you hold on to that fortune in your wallet and therefore
So to like make it come true.
right. But you also have to eat at least a part of the cookie. Like Sierra can't eat the cookie because of her dietary restrictions, but in my tradition, she has to at least take a crumb of it.
What if I take a crumb of her cookie? Do I get her fortune too, or?
Do you think your kind attitude will keep others afloat?
Yes.
That's more of a statement too, not.
It's also a lie.
It could be a tradition. And I wanted to talk about traditions to start up because summer's coming. Summer's here.
Everyone's
It was
got some
Memorial
shit to do.
Day this weekend, yesterday, and that's usually the unofficial start of summer.
I usually do a big barbecue, but I think I'm going to hold off and do it on the 4th of July this year. Toxie and I went to Meadview, which is a property in Arizona that I own. I really probably shouldn't have said the city name. Anyway, well, now you all know.
There's
my
like
family,
3 places there.
yeah, my family owns some property
You're gonna be they're gonna be
in Arizona, and we went up there. Like you haven't already been on the fucking TV show. And we had a blast. We got like winded out on Sunday because it was crazy windy. We were like, this one's getting ready to go to the pool, and I'm like, have you been outside yet today? It's like 45 and 80,000 mile an hour winds.
And I would do it if the pool wasn't like 3 degrees.
Yeah, it was fucking cold on
Because the pool was
Saturday.
like a polar plunge.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
And I mean, I rocked it, just to say I rocked it.
I got in up to my belly button.
You went that far.
My vagina turned into Barbie's vagina, though. Like, it just whoop, it sealed
Yeah, it went
itself
up. It
shut.
went up. Nipples inverted, like warmed themselves up inside.
I didn't even get my titties in the water, and they were like, no. But we had a blast. We
They're
ended
just
up,
like clapped themselves shut, and they're like, we are not doing this.
yeah, because of the weather, we ended up all cooped up inside the house all day Sunday, and we ended up playing Cards Against Humanity with our teenage children. One of whom is in the know, but completely innocent, and one of them who is completely innocent and sort of in the know. And he's high-functioning autistic, and it just says inappropriate things without meaning to.
So, here's what I learned. My daughter was actually a pretty good trooper.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll say she was a good trooper. And we got in the car afterward. And this is after when we were driving home, and she's like, I figured that game out so fast. And she's like, I knew exactly who would pick what. And it's true because I ended up with the most, followed by her.
Yeah. These two basically, her and her daughter basically won Cards Against Humanity. I failed miserably because apparently I'm too inappropriate. And my son did pretty good for himself.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
My favorite thing was, the question I had to ask was, how did I lose my virginity? And I realized we've only recently started having the sex talks with my kid. And I was like, do you know what losing your virginity means? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, what does it mean? And he goes, for those of you who might be listening to the audio, you know that stereotypical circle with a finger through it? That's what I just did. That is what my 13-year-old son said to me when I asked him, what does losing your virginity mean?
I died.
We all died. We absolutely died, and I failed it.
A friend of mine posted in one of our favorite groups that her son asked her for condoms this weekend.
Oh, I saw that.
And that just reminds me so much. Your kids are growing up.
If my son...
And he's what, 7?
If my son ever gets up the audacity to ask me to buy him condoms, not that I won't do it, because I will actually shower him with boxes of condoms.
We'll be like throwing condoms.
I'll
as he
have a
walks down
condom
the
Have a
hall.
party. Have a party where
A condom
condoms are the
Condom
party favors.
pinata.
Yeah, knock it open. It's all the condoms and little one-surface lubes. Yeah, like, he'll never ask me because I will take him to the store and we will have a whole discussion on the use of condoms, what condoms are good for what. This is what
You will
should get.
bust out the banana.
I will. I will show him how to put a condom on. He is never going to ask me to help him buy condoms. He does, however, have a whole YouTube channel he can go to. I am going to plug them later after I make sure it's okay. But there's a whole YouTube channel that is based around very informative sexual education stuff.
I think they're on YouTube. They're okay with you sharing it around.
Well, maybe. I don't know if they want to be associated with all that. It's okay. It's amaze.org, AMAZE.org, and they have a YouTube channel, and they've got a shit ton of stuff for little tiny kids all the way up to grown-ass adults. I was watching some of these with the kid, and I was like, huh, I did not know that. And, yeah, so if you get the chance, go look at them. I make my kid watch about 20 minutes worth of videos, and there's some we've repeated a couple of times, like the consent videos. He's pretty much over the idea of consent. Like, I understand, Mom, no means no, yes means yes unless it means no. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Just assume no one wants to have sex with you unless they take your dick out and put it in their mouth and you're okay with that. They don't want to have sex with you. That's kind of what I'm teaching my kid.
So
my kid's gonna basically wander around going, nobody wants to have sex with me, until somebody's standing in front of him going, I'd like to suck your penis, and he'd be like, okay.
Can you put my penis in your mouth so I know it's okay? So I know it meets the definition of consent.
Blowjobs are a
per my
gateway
mom.
to sex. Of course, when you ask my kid, he tells me he's not gay, and you're like, so you like girls? And he's like, I don't know. His dad and I are pretty convinced he's probably going to be asexual, but he masturbates a lot and watches a lot of porn, so I have access to his Google searches.
Asexual just does not mean just means doesn't have a sexual preference, right?
No, asexual means they don't want to have sex with people.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what it means in science, but okay.
No,
well,
asexual means they reproduce.
Okay, this is bothering me. I'm so sorry.
Asexual means they reproduce without sex.
Yeah.
Asexual means without sex.
Okay.
Not that they don't want to have. Not that they prefer sex. They don't want to have sex.
Okay.
With other people.
Right.
So with themselves would be fine.
Probably. I want so much to get. I've met one other asexual person in my life, and I seriously want to get them in here and ask them about it without being offensive. But I know me. I'm offensive.
I would think asexual doesn't have to be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
It's not like being gay,
It can be.
where it's permanent.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Whatever.
Of course, can lead us. I'm not going to let it lead us, but that could totally lead us into the Handmaid's Tale TV movie, Hulu special conversation of this dystopian future that is almost now.
The Handmaid's Tale?
We're going to talk about that later. Jasper says, losing your virginity I thought was like trying to fit a Snickers inside a Twizzler opening. And Marissa is officially single, and she's still crying.
I'm sorry, Marissa.
Marissa, don't be crying.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of other whatever it is you like in the sea.
If you need to hang out, if you live in Vegas and you need to hang out, just message us.
Message her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going out of town.
I'm going out of town.
You're going to talk about more holiday stuff here with us.
I also don't like people. So my idea of a good time is taking one or two friends into the middle of the desert and doing nothing for 3 days. That's my idea of a good time.
Hopefully with a
I
campfire.
have to.
No,
It was too windy. But I have to tell you, it was amazing to do nothing. Like, my internet would barely work. I had to keep hotspotting off of her mom's phone. I'm like, can I hotspot again? Like, I was 12. I felt so bad, too. And your mom's, like, so nice. She's like, I have unlimited. It's fine.
Whatever.
I'm like, can I do it again, please?
Yeah, we watched a monk marathon. We watched a psych marathon, and we watched an entire day of flea market flip, which was, by the end, we were like social fucking commentary on this shit. You should have seen us be like, no, bitch, you overpaid for that. You will never make a profit on it. We were like, that is a terrible color for that. You should have painted that white with a yellow inside, bitch. Like, you should have seen us. We were like men watching football at flea market flip. We really were like sideline coaching this shit. It was fucking hilarious.
Was this your first time with the psych run through?
No, I've watched Psych before,
Okay.
but we watched. It was a television channel. They were doing like viewer requested episodes, so there wasn't anything in line.
Right.
Which is what I like about shows like Monk and Psych. You don't have to watch them in order.
Right.
I mean, you immediately pick up on what the relationship is with all the characters within the first few minutes of every episode.
Right.
So my mom, who'd never seen Monk and never seen Psych, like, enjoyed the fuck out of them.
That's
It
good.
was
That's one of
great.
my favorite shows. It's like,
Tony Shalhoub.
you know what? I
He
tried
is.
watching Monk. I cannot watch it.
Really?
I tried.
Have you watched The Fabulous Mrs. Maisel?
Oh,
No.
Yes.
Oh man, he's a great in that. In second season, he really, I think, blooms in second
He's
season.
brilliant.
He is really.
He's a brilliant.
I loved him on Wings. I loved him in Monk. I've loved him in almost anything I've seen him in.
Is he the same kind of character in each one?
No,
Okay.
he's not. Not at all. Oh yeah, he was in Men in Black. Yeah. No, he's not, which is great. Like, Monk is a very different character from what he played in Wings, and an
Galaxy Quest.
extremely
Was that awesome?
yes, he was in Galaxy Quest.
I saw the show. I thought the movie was good. I didn't particularly take a liking to him.
Yeah, no, it was great. Armchair House.
It's not that I don't like the actor. It's just
Actually, Jasper, so let me explain what Flea Market Flip is for those of you who've never seen it. So you and a friend are pitted against two other people. You go into a flea market, you buy 3 things based on a theme for each thing. You then take them back to some workshop somewhere. I'm assuming it's in the Northeast because they were mostly in Pennsylvania and New York. And then you flip this thing, you like give it a new paint job, or you turn it into something else, and then you go back to a different high-end flea market and you sell it. Now, flea markets should not be confused with swap meets. Those are 2 totally different things. And then you try to sell it for an exorbitantly higher price. So, for instance, like this one couple bought this $10 pair of just metal legs. They threw a piece of wood on top of it, stained the wood, and sold the damn thing for $350.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So this is what we're kind of talking about. But some assholes will go out there and buy like a $125 item and then put like a new stain on it and then try to sell it for $450. Sometimes they do it. Most of the time, they do not. And those are the assholes who lose. And so it's like, I'm like, no. The whole point of flipping something is that you pay a small price, you put a little bit of work into it, and then you get some other asshole to pay $500 for it. And then you make like $450 in a weekend. Like, it's fucking, that's what flipping is.
My mom loves those kind of shows.
I love those kind of
I'm
shows.
not a fan of those.
But I only watch them. I only watch that kind of stuff when I'm in a place like our
Middle of the
property
desert.
in Arizona, because I don't have regular TV. It's not like I'm going to sit around and watch. If I'm going to binge something at home, I'm paying for all of the streaming services. I'm going to binge one of those bitches. Like, my son and I caught up mostly on The Good Doctor last night, and it was great. You ready to get on?
I'm ready to come join you guys.
All right. We're talking about TV shows that we like and holidays that we're doing for the summer.
Nice.
Sierra's planning a huge trip. Just her and her son.
Yep.
Lots of driving across the country.
Oh, nice. Nice. How long?
2 weeks. We're driving to Washington, D.C. and back. And we're visiting family along the way.
Have you talked about this on the show already?
Not really. I've mentioned it, but I don't think I've talked about it. So the plan is, my son and I have been planning this trip for 2 years. Originally, this summer was going to be China, but the funds nor the passports worked out, so mostly because we just didn't apply for them. So instead, we bumped up our D.C. trip, which was going to be next year, so we're going to do our D.C. trip this year. We are driving, just me and my 13-year-old, so literally just me, driving to Washington, D.C., and driving back again. But we are going 2 different routes there and back. Because my son decided a couple of years ago that he wants to see all 50 states before he graduates high school. Oh, God. So we're trying. Hawaii will actually be pretty easy because my uncle lives there, so we can just go stay in his shack on the beach in Hawaii next to his marijuana plantation. I mean, I'm going to basically be high most of our Hawaii trip. And Alaska will be easy because I'm going to crash on our friend's sister's couch. I'm just going to roll up with the van and be like, can I just park here for a couple days? I'm sure she'll say yes. So,
That's
Speaking-
awesome.
We have Rita right now is in the middle of a 50-day trip.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about here.
Right.
So this is Rita. For those
Hi.
who don't know,
for
this is
anyone
Rita Best.
who has ever been to the Best Bash, I think you did 2 Best Bashes?
No, I did 4.
4?
Mhm.
I don't keep up.
Yeah.
So they did the Best Bash in Canada, which is, from what I heard, was amazing. And a lot of people were super sad when you discontinued the Best Bash.
Right.
But, you know, we've got like 8 billion other bashes. Just pick one, go.
And she's partnering.
But wait a second. This is what you need to know about this. She doesn't have a bash anymore, but we still love her and want her on the show.
Because she
So
does a
it
lot
doesn't
of,
matter who the hell you are. You don't have to be famous to be on our show. Just ask.
but she
Right,
does a
She's
right.
lot
well
of,
known. Yeah,
yeah,
she's
she's
very
super
well
well known
Yeah.
and does a lot of body positivity stuff in her own groups, which is great. I love them.
That's what I love this community for. Like
Yeah.
that's a big thing for me. But yeah, so the 50 days, I started off by tagging along on a business trip with my husband to Boston, and then went from there to the Cocoa Beach BBW Bash. I think it was the 16th year this year, which was awesome.
It's on our bucket list to go to the Cocoa
yeah.
Beach Bash.
Cocoa Beach Bash made me fall in love with bashes, to be honest.
Speaking of getting us to the Cocoa Beach Bash, if you go to patreon.com/Sin City Bounty, you can donate money to us, either a monthly recurring fee or a one-time big-ass fucking chunk of money so we can take our asses to Florida next summer. That'd be great.
You don't even have to go to Patreon to do that. You can do that right on our website on
Yeah,
PayPal.
just go to SinCityBounty.com.
So we're trying to hustle to get to
Yeah,
Coco
yeah.
next
I get
year.
you. I get you. Yeah, send these girls. They need to come and have fun with me.
If anyone
Yeah.
has a company that's willing to sponsor us, we will talk the shit up about your company.
That's right. We don't
If
care
you
what you're
wanna
selling.
sponsor our trip to
Well,
Cocoa Beach.
Well,
kinda,
we'll
kinda.
even shill for the state of Gilead.
No, we won't.
I don't even know what that is.
Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
No.
No, we
we
won't.
don't do child porn or animal stuff unless it's furries. So. But anywhere
Furries,
wants-
that's a whole nother story.
So where
So
are
I'm gonna
you
get
now
going
in
now.
your?
Well, I've been in Vegas since the 5th of May.
Oh, so this is a long stopover.
50 days. Yeah.
You're
Here
gonna
in
do all
Vegas,
50
are you
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
all-
no, 50 days in the USA. So
Right.
I did Boston, then Cocoa, then I've been in Vegas since the 5th of May. And now on June 3rd, I'm going to go to my bestie in Phoenix and hang out there for a little bit. Hi, Shannon. And for a couple weeks. And then I'm going to go to Eddie Schatz. I'm going to go hang out with him and some of the Atlanta peeps in North Carolina at a lake house. That's where I'll finish and go there from there back to home. So
So then you're going to head home, and you'll be back in July.
July.
You're just
For,
gonna go home, change your clothes, and come back, practically, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, truthfully, I'm only allowed out of the country for a certain amount of time, so I do have to spend some time at home.
You don't want to spend that much time in the U.S. anyway. Right now, you might get stuck here or deported without wanting to be.
Right. Yeah. Who knows, right? I'm just trying to stay under the radar.
I think you do that, right? I think you go on your super long trips, then
Yeah.
you come in quietly. Like, you don't throw these big crazy parties or anything like that. You just come out quiet, and then...
Yeah. Well, we did actually have a pretty good party coming.
I
in.
know, I was totally
Yeah.
making that up. I was being...
Oh, okay.
But
We
see,
only
she
had
said,
one.
like-
We've just been like knitting and chilling out. No, I'm lying. I know we've been going hard like a lot.
If you want to know why there's
So-
a weed shortage in Vegas,
Oh my God! You know what? Let's talk weed, because that's something I can talk to you guys about. In Canada, it is completely legal to have smoke, participate in marijuana in any space that's legal to smoke cigarettes, all across the country. I can fly from one end of the country to the other with it in my bag, with my grinder all ready to go. No hold bars back, whatever. That's why I love Vegas. 'Cause
Vegas
it's
isn't that
almost like-
liberal that
no.
way yet.
no, but we did
We're
just
getting
pass.
there.
We did just pass the basically hash house rule, so we can now have pot lounges,
Yeah.
Yes.
public spaces to smoke pot in, because our tourism was like, well, we can smoke weed, but you can't smoke it anywhere on the strip.
Yeah, and you can't smoke it, and you're not supposed to smoke it in the hotels.
Right.
Right.
I
We're
got some
only
extra
supposed to
rooms
smoke
in
it
the
up.
back.
And I think North Las Vegas just posted rules that you cannot smoke or vape in public places, publicly shared places like parks.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
No,
six of
we're
one, half a
working on
dozen
it.
of another.
We're working on it. It's still a little bit new. People are still a little salty because the money was supposed to go for schools, and
It didn't.
you know, for some magic reason, it didn't. So people are still a little up in their feels, but it is much more accepted and mainstream now
Yeah.
than it was a few years ago.
Well, truthfully, I mean, there are so many medical benefits to medical marijuana use as well.
Right.
And I can say that, like, even before it became legal in Canada, for over a year, I haven't been traveling just because I'm just like a freelancer or whatever. Like I've got time available because I haven't been well and I cannot do my job the way that I'm supposed to. So I just have taken a sabbatical from work, and that's why. But through the process of trying to get better, my doctor recommended that I saw a doctor and went to a cannabis clinic and was for probably over a year under that care. And it was really difficult for me because I'd always considered marijuana to be a social thing.
Right.
And truthfully, I'm going to get a little real for a second. Coming from a family of alcoholic and drug abusers, I've always been petrified that I would fall onto that category. So I've only ever socially drank or socially smoked. I'd never have a glass of wine by myself,
Right.
let alone smoke a joint by myself. So I was always afraid of that factor. So it was really, honestly, my husband, pressing me to like, okay, you need to. And once I started using it medically, like, okay, wake up, smoke half of one or whatever, and then I can do the day, or there's oil drops, things like that, was able to actually start getting better. And I am in the process, and I truly believe that that's a large factor.
I have a story about the last time I smoked
back on
weed,
her head.
like actually smoked weed, was with Rita.
What is on her phone?
It's her
My
fortune.
cookie.
She makes people smile, it says.
Okay. You do. It's true.
So I have a story. We were doing like to share your weed stories. Last time I actually smoked weed was with Rita at a party that she did earlier in the year, and it was because I was having back spasms, and I was like, I just need like 2 hits. I would like to let you know that we went home very shortly after that. I do not remember the ride home. I don't remember going upstairs. I don't remember laying down to go to bed. I barely remember waking up the next day, and thank God I had the next day off because I don't think I got up till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Because whatever the fuck kind of nuclear-powered fission weed she smokes, I took 2 hits and just left my body. Like that's no more back spasms.
But you're back. Like your
my
back,
back was
felt
great.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to actually leave the liberal left a little bit.
Are you gonna head to the conservative side of this?
Just a tiny smidge. I'm going to just take one step to the left. One of
Now
the
you've
claims,
done it.
one of the claims that was made is that marijuana helps so many medical problems. We know that it helps a few, not so many yet. It hasn't been proven to help so many yet. This is our disclaimer for SCB. We love smoking weed. We love people who smoke weed. We don't care if you smoke weed. I'm a little conservative on the conservative side about the freewheeling and nuclear fission weed because I
I'm
worry
not.
about people losing their cognizant abilities to stay
Which
in
is-
control.
Which is also why I'm pretty sure I own stock in Lyft. I have paid
Yeah.
them a shit ton of money
Yes.
There's
to get
a
me to and from places.
you
Yeah.
know the difference in choosing to smoke something that's you're smoking at a party versus when you have to function.
That's
like,
right.
There's a huge difference in.
But not
the
everybody
types
can
and the
discern that
strands.
difference, number
You
one.
can when you go in the smoke shop. They
you
will
tell them what
you.
you want,
The
yeah.
bud tender will guide
If you've never been inside a marijuana dispensary, they're very, very knowledgeable. They don't just throw a bunch of assholes behind the
Yeah.
counter to sell you
No.
weed. If you go in and tell them, listen, and I did this. Anyone who watched the show early last year, I tore a muscle in my back and I was in some of the worst pain of my life. And I walked into a dispensary and said, listen, I can't get high because I work in a warehouse and I operate heavy machinery. But I need some pain relief because I am allergic to narcotics and I am allergic to opiates. I can't take them. I can't take painkillers. I can take Motrin, and let me tell you, Motrin wasn't fucking touching this motherfucker. They recommended to me a CBD oil that made the pain so tolerable, and I did not get high. They also offered me a couple of different types of marijuana to smoke that would, at home, at night, this is what they said. What's your tolerance level? I said fucking nothing. Like a hit off of regular weed from the 90s got me high, and that's how it is still. So they're like, okay, you will take, if you smoke this for pain relief to help you with relaxing enough to go to bed, you smoke it 15 to 20 minutes before you're ready to go to bed, only do 2 or 3 hits off of this, put it out, use the rest of it the next day. They're super knowledgeable, very
It's-
friendly. They
all-
go
all-
It's
through-
much more regulated now
saying-
than when you were buying it from a dude on the street.
All I'm
corner.
saying is go to a reputable dealer if you're going to use it as any kind of medication.
go to a dispensary.
Go to a dispensary or
Dispensary. That's it. Do not go
That's
anywhere
it.
else.
There's really nowhere else to go.
There is
I
nowhere
mean,
else legal to go to purchase marijuana. Do not buy it from a dealer. There's no
make sure
fucking
it's a
point.
reputable one.
They all are. They have serious amounts of regulation they have to go through to become a dispensary.
Yeah, I've been to a couple, and the people in there are not as smart as you are.
I'm shocked because actually, recruiting for the cannabis industry is something that, although I don't necessarily talk about my outside of here type work, it's actually the big industry to get into right now from a recruiting standpoint because the individuals are so, it's just not somebody off the street. Like, they have to be educated. There's certificates they go through. Believe it or not, they go through drug testing.
You have to turn your volume down.
I did. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, so believe it or not, there's special testing and
Yeah.
everything.
If
So
you-
it's very heavily regulated. And again, it's just, to me right now, so much safer than
Buying
when
weed
you're
off the
buying
street
it off
from
the
a
street
dealer.
corner, taking
Of
your
course.
chance.
You're not going
you
to get
know?
PCP laced weed from a dispensary, period, end of story. And if you
Right.
do, you can report them to the police and get the dispensary closed. We will not promote a single dispensary here unless they pay us. But, you know, there are a number of really reputable, highly, they're just super clean, super well focused, super well staffed dispensaries here in
And
town.
if you are able to, please check with your doctor first.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I
Or
think
you
that-
can go in and you can pay a physician.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
kind of
there
cool.
are, because you still can get medical marijuana, but you can absolutely go into it.
And the dispensaries here originally started out as medical marijuana dispensaries, so they had to go through the medical staff training to do that. A lot of them.
I just want to be sure that, you know, we are not doctors, so we cannot tell you
No.
what weed can fix.
I'm pretty sure no one's gonna watch this and all of a sudden like drop their heart medication because we said,
Don't do that.
Hey,
You don't know.
Talk to your
You don't know.
doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
You were very popular. And if you told
There-
people that weed helped your heart, they would drop their heart medication.
if you talk to
smoke
a
some weed.
doctor and the doctor says weed will help your heart, then go for it. What was it you were about to say?
I do not remember.
What do you want, Johnny? Always with the hands.
Okay, the night that of the election, when we legalized pot here in Nevada,
Right.
I had the opportunity to interview Tommy Chong for about 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things that he had a lot of medical problems, and people think that he's a real stoner, but he's really like a 1 or 2 hit guy. But he said that the real value in the helping people get better with illnesses is the fact that it increases your appetite. And that's what helps make you get better. So if you're eating more, it's going to help your body fight off whatever it is, you know, whatever
of-
your condition is.
A lot of cancer patients were, and still are, they're given a prescription for Marinol, which is an appetite-increasing drug that is based on marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've known a couple of cancer patients that have had to have Marinol because they couldn't eat because chemo fucking kills your appetite. And in order for your body to heal, you have to have fucking energy to do so. So talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Don't just don't go to the bud tender and tell them I've got heart problems. What weed should I smoke? Go to your doctor first. But if you just need to chill out after work and go to bed or decompress, or you just want to get a little high, you don't want to get wasted high, tell your bud tender what you want. If you're I want to hit it once and astrally project into the next fucking realm, they've got a weed for that.
Yeah.
Rita smokes it.
Only socially. No, on that note, okay, so that's just one particular thing. Okay, we all have different ailments, and I mean, if we're gonna continue on, I don't think we have a time. Do we have a timeline here?
We have
Okay,
20 minutes.
Okay, so one of my issues is exactly as you stated. I I still don't actually have an answer. We're still working on it, but one of the situations is I had gotten extremely sick. I couldn't get food to stay in my system at all. Like 2 bites of asparagus and maybe 1 bite of steak, and I may get over to the other side of the room before I vomit. That's how bad it was. And in a very, very short period of time. I lost a lot of weight, all completely unhealthily. That's not how I believe in any body should change.
Right.
You do it slow and steady. That's how you do it. So it did a lot of damage, obviously, in that case. And I have been going through an awful lot of that. Point being, getting on this and having the marijuana in my life now can make a huge difference. Like, it's kind of funny. Phil, I mean, most patient and loving husband on the planet. Hello, honey, back home in Toronto. No, on his way to Vancouver, somewhere not here.
He's a world traveler as well.
Yes, he's coming back in for the weekend to spend some time with me again. Again, this is twice he's coming to visit. He misses me.
I would just like to let you all
Yeah.
know that I am a well-trained, highly classified, good working executive assistant.
Oh. You don't get to travel with him, though. If that was the
Never
case,
mind. You're like,
I
"Never
would have
mind,
already
I
taken
suck."
the job, because the one thing that this traveling girl doesn't have is that paycheck to go
Yeah.
along with the traveling. So that's
I'm
why
trying
you'll
to
see that
become
I'm staying on somebody's couch from one city to the next. And fortunately, the one I'm staying on presently has an indoor pool and, a gorgeous backyard.
The life
and-
doesn't suck.
Yeah, life does not suck. Yeah, so, and no sleep. But point being, I wake up in the morning, and some mornings are, am I able to brush my teeth today? Like, that's how bad my mornings are. So I take 2 puffs on a joint or a vape, and I am able to brush my teeth and sometimes drink a coffee. Like, sometimes that's the case, and that's my way of getting to that spot. It helps me. So
Just talk to your doctor.
Everyone's
talk
an
to your doctor.
individual.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. But I mean, it's legal recreation.
And I have to say that I agree with some of the points that you made as well. But same factor, I think, goes as far as alcohol. We all have to be responsible and capable and taking care of ourselves and know what our limits are.
The only medicinal value alcohol has is as a disinfectant.
Yeah.
So it doesn't count.
I
Right.
disinfect my
I guess
insides
it's
a lot.
true enough. True enough. No.
I like to
I just meant
disinfect
as an
my liver.
adult taking consuming something that can alter your frame of mind. That's what I was thinking about, because alcohol and marijuana can both do that. But
I'm a
in
little-
a responsible
Right.
setting, always, in my opinion, never, ever, ever near children. Truthfully, for the majority of both. I mean, I understand a couple of beers in the backyard with a family
I have
thing, but I don't believe that marijuana should ever be around children.
I just have this thing about people using herbs for healing instead of going to a doctor. If you don't go to a doctor of nature, herbal naturopathy or whatever like that to get the medical uses of those herbs, and there was a story about some girl who was doing apricots or something like that and killed herself
with
because of the
cyanide
art.
poisoning.
Yeah. People
So-
that go to extreme and follow Google as a doctor really.
Talk to people.
If you
You're the
don't-
people that need psychological assistance.
someone-
If you don't
Like,
want
that's
to be helped
crazy.
by traditional Western medicine, there are a ton of other alternative medical
Yeah.
facilities you can go to, from
Yeah.
But-
naturopaths to homeopaths, chiropractors. I mean, there's a ton of other natural medical ways to go. You don't have to go to a doctor.
I
Yeah,
was
and all of those as well. I'm saying I agree, but talk to an actual professional or something serious or something.
Yes.
Somebody get your information from a proper source.
yes.
Yeah.
First, not just a lot of people are like, I looked it up on Google, and if I put my left leg over my right
Or-
leg and I stuff this up, it doesn't.
Or what happens is,
I mean, whatever that is, however you finish that, I'd probably try it. I'm just saying.
or a lot
Whoever
of
that finishes.
Or a lot of times, Toxic will say, I drank this tea and it helped my heart, and someone will stop taking their medication and
Okay,
go
I
get the
never
tea.
said I drank a tea to help my heart.
No, I understand
But
that,
she
but
did
that
the
happens
leg
a
and
lot. That happens a lot.
There's a lot of Dr. Oz assholes out there who are running around telling people that one drop of this miracle cure in your fucking coffee every morning will help you shed weight
Right.
and shit out all the bad stuff.
Right.
I mean, I will tell you for myself, and again, you do what's right for you, and you do what's right when you
But
talk
how
to
many
your
times have you
doctors.
walked into a conversation, and those conversations happen a lot here in Vegas, where you hear someone saying to someone, well, I drank sage tea for that, so that might help you. And
Oh,
that
there's
person will
always
go
a-
That's
home.
great,
Yeah.
and then they go home and hopefully they'll look it up. Like, that's on them.
But they don't. They usually, because sage
That's
is
on
easy
them.
to get.
That's on them.
I understand that,
I
but
can't
Yeah.
educate
Yeah.
every single individual on how
that's
to
what
be
we're here
a
for.
smart individual.
We're educating you.
You know, I can say that I have done something. It doesn't necessarily mean,
Right.
and most likely for your own personal safety, that you should do it at all. Like,
No.
you should probably stay clear of it
Consult
because
with the
I was just
person.
lucky to have survived it.
Consult with the professional who helps you with your medical needs.
Right.
They
And then
can
if you
steer
do want to forget, if you do want to take some knockout cosmic shit, then go to your bud tender.
And I'm a big fan. If you're going to tell someone this is what I took for this, you should give your disclaimer. Like, you should help to protect your fellow man. Like, you know
feel
what?
like
I
it's
drink
on my
sage
fellow
tea,
man
but
to know to be smart for themselves. Like if you said to me,
Let me t-
I drink sage
let me tell
tea
you a
for
stupid-
this,
let me tell
I
you-
don't need a disclaimer. I don't need you
let
to
me tell you a
disclaim
story
it.
about how stupid I
Like
am.
I'm an adult.
I
and
went to a
can
bagel store and I
look
wanted
myself.
cream cheese and lox on my bagel. I'm looking up at the menu on the wall, and there's $3.50, bagel, lox, cream cheese. That's what I wanted. I got to the register and I paid $10.50 for a bagel and a coffee because she gave me the bagel and lox sandwich special because I didn't ask and she didn't tell me. You don't want to see what I mean?
No, because I wouldn't have paid it. So I would have asked. If you said to me something that was supposed to be $3.50 was $10.50, I would have questioned it. Like I don't just take things at face value.
Oh, I questioned
I
it.
think we all have our personal responsibility.
We do.
And so I don't think it's my responsibility to say to someone, "Oh my God, I tried this really great, bag of Chex Mix, but disclaimer, you better check it. Better check the ingredients yourself. If you need to check the ingredients for your own purposes, you know you need to do that."
Yeah, listen. If anyone comes to me and tells me that drinking aloe vera juice is good for my body and will cleanse me, I'll tell you you're absolutely right and you can drive me to the ER because I know that I can't. I am allergic to aloe vera, ingest aloe vera. But it is on the individual. It is on them to know what is good and not good for them. It's just like seeing the ads for Cosentix on TV. Like, is Cosentix right for you? Well, I don't know. Is Cosentix right for me? Who should I speak to about that? My fucking doctor. You don't just walk into the pharmacy and say, I need Cosentix. They're going to say, have you
Johnny needs
talked to your
Cosentix.
doctor? Do you have ankylospinodosis or whatever?
Oh, I
This is,
thought it
I
was
just want to
for
respond
ED.
to Toxie, okay? If you remember earlier in the show, we were talking about 57% of Americans think that we shouldn't teach Arabic numbers in
But
school.
that's not my responsibility to teach them. They need to know on their own.
Okay, now I'm back to the super socialist, possibly communist liberal side.
Stupid people.
If there wouldn't be, if people were personally responsible, if they were, there would be no need for teachers. There would be no need for educational
You're talking
programming.
totally different things.
No, I'm
You're
not.
talking completely different things.
We are in a position with this show, and we tell people that with this
But,
show we're
okay,
going to
so
teach
you already
people
said the
things.
disclaimer. Great, you already said check with your doctor. We've disclaimed that, but you're saying beyond that personally what we should do is if we go tell somebody, hey, I tried this sage tea, that I should disclaim to them, but go check with your doctor first.
What?
That's on
how hard
them.
is it? How hard is it for you to say something like that
Why?
for your fellow man who might not know that they should check with their doctor?
I look at it this way. Mother Nature knows. So if this asshole is too stupid to go check with his doctor first and he dies from sage tea, it's just thinning the herd, baby.
I just feel like we have our
Survival
personal
of the fittest,
responsibility.
and there is my libertarian post for the day. Survival of the fittest. If you're allergic to sage and you drink sage tea and you die, good. You're not driving on the same roads as
So
me
Rita, what's one of your favorite places you've traveled to in the last year and why?
In the last year. So this year, well, I have to say Vegas because I'm here quite a bit.
And for a long time.
Definitely one of my favorite places, obviously.
13 days or 23 days so far?
But I think, it'll be about 28 days by the time I leave this time. But this is my second time here so far this year. And I'm going to be back again in July for
2 weeks?
Excellence BBW. No, I'm doing Excellence BBW. And then I'm leaving there and going straight to Detroit so that I can go to the Unity Bash.
Yes.
You guys
She
ever
wants
heard
to
about
talk
the
about
Unity
that.
Bash?
a little bit.
Yeah,
But talk about it.
it's usually in Ohio, but this year it's actually going to be hosted in Detroit. Michigan, which is another 420 friendly state. I don't know why I get involved in these states. I love the color of your walls, by the way. Anyway, so I've actually been delegated the title of social ambassador, I think, because I love people. I love what Unity stands for. I love what this community stands for, but I don't think we have enough time for me to talk about.
We get 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I
good.
talk a lot, but I love the concept of Unity because that's really where we all started, right? Like, we all have all sorts of different backgrounds, everything, and it's just the collection of realizing that we're all decent human beings and put us all in one spot. And okay, I feel like I'm getting preachy.
No,
But
you are good.
I love it, and I love going because everybody knows that I'm that one person at any party, at any bash. It doesn't matter if I've got one person with me, if I'm all by myself, or if I've got like 30 people in front of me. You're always welcome to come up, grab a hug, and hang out with whoever I'm hanging out with.
And get cosmically loaded.
Not always. I'm not. I am not a pusher.
She's going to check her Bud wallet every time she leaves to make sure.
Yeah. No. I mean, I like that.
We
Truthfully,
should tell a story about that at the end, about someone partaking in your bowl or partaking in your thing after the party. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue
So
on.
anyway, Unity. I'm going to be going from Vegas to Unity, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually going to host. I don't host anymore. Everybody knows that I've retired, and I do not host bashes anymore. But I still feel that I have a voice, and I like trying to keep this community all on the right foot and remind everybody that we're all on the same journey together, and so being able to participate in somebody else's event gives me a little bit, but then I can still party with everybody.
Right.
And if I want to get cosmically high, I can.
You can astrally
I
project.
have to stay straight for my own bash, and
Yeah,
that's
that sucks.
tough.
Do you happen to know the dates of Unity? in
I
Detroit?
do actually. I have. I might happen to have a flyer right here. Isn't that convenient? July 25th to the 28th. I don't know if
That's
we can
cute. We can share that.
We can share that? Yeah. So there's pool parties. There's a lot of different seminars going on, a lot of different events. Straight up, it doesn't really matter what's going on at any bash when you know that I'm going to be there, because we are not getting any sleep. We're going to party from when we get up until we pass out.
If
and
there's
then
a
some.
pool, that's where she'll be all
Yes,
day. Just
yes.
floating
Yeah.
around.
But there are lots of different things going on.
Rita's
We'll
part
put the
mermaid.
website on here, and let everybody know about it. But I mean, like that will be really fun. It's not a gigantic venue. She's brought it down to like a smaller number. I think it's probably like the 150-ish mark, which makes me so happy. I like the numbers when they're a little bit smaller, because then I can see everybody. I don't care if you don't like me or not. I'm probably going to end up on your lap at a bash. Like I just do.
It's like our very own talk
you know,
show.
and I'm not rude or obnoxious, and I'm small enough to like shove out of your way fast. But I like everybody, and I
Can
like to be
comment
able to have
bash?
that opportunity.
Can I be a
so
comment bash? Can I comment bash? I want to comment bash.
Comment bash?
Yes, Ali Zafar. Salam, my friend. He says, "How are you? I am friend. Love talk. WhatsApp, SMS, please today. Need. Fuck off, cocksucker. We don't need you."
We're in the middle of a
Unless it's friend of
show.
yours, then sorry
no.
about that.
Ali, we're in the middle of a show, so this is not the place to do this.
Yeah,
Send it
no.
in a private message.
Okay.
First
So I'll
off,
share it
we're
out.
never gonna suck your dick, and second off, we're never gonna suck your dick. And you can't see these titties. Dim titties. Stay private.
I'm gonna admit something. I love that Rita is sitting next to me, because her breasts are perfectly tanned, and I'm just slightly tall enough to where every time I look that way, my eyes are just automatically drawn down. And I can't stop staring at your
Rita's
face.
got some of the best titties
Rita,
ever.
we're
Thank you.
pervy. I'm sorry, we're pervy. I
Oh
should've
no, that's
warned
good.
you.
You know, one of the benefits actually of being at the house this week. My friend Stefan has a gorgeous house here in Las Vegas, and he has allowed me, when I've come to visit a couple of times, to host parties at his house because he likes the company I keep, and he's got a gorgeous pool and a nice big backyard. And this trip I've stayed. I've actually had a collection of different girlfriends coming in and going out from different places, international. A couple girls from Canada, one from England, and we've just been staying there and having fun. But the privacy of that place, I can actually sit outside. I can show you right now. I have to show it to you. I know I can't show it on here. No. That's for that you pay for,
Here's
right?
actually the thing. When you walk up to the house, when there was a DJ that other night, coming out from the street, you can't even hear anything in there.
Right.
Like you can't.
I don't
hear it
even
at
know if
all.
you can in any way at all show this, but this is my oasis that I've created in the backyard to just lay there and catch sun, and I can lay there like
Johnny
He's-
Fever. Hey,
Johnny.
producer, can you produce some shit? Can you zoom in on this?
We're high tech and shit here. We're high tech.
Oh, that's perfect.
We're fancy as fuck.
Oh, that's it. No, wait.
no,
What
no,
are you
no,
showing?
no,
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 go back.
no,
I don't know what
hold
that
on.
is now. Oh my God, my phone.
Please
It
don't
could
be
be
anything bad.
anything.
No, it just says it's time to spin.
Okay.
It's time to spin.
Actually, it's
All right,
my
so we have-
National
I
panicked.
Geographic
I panicked.
National Geographic notification. Yes, I watch a lot of animal. I will call it in brackets porn. Absolutely no sex. There's nothing sexual about it. I just love to watch cute animals on the regular, whether it be whales or bears or whatever. I call it that because it's just like my food thing, you know. But yeah.
I just have to tell you, as somebody who has things pop up on her phone, my heart dropped for you for a moment as soon as I saw that happening.
Yeah.
Did you want her to tell a story or have a question? One
Oh,
of the two.
no, we were going to.
She's got 3 minutes.
Okay, did you want to tell the story about that gentleman that you have on video, or no? No, all
Let's
right,
leave
we'll
it
go
on
with
a
the
better.
no.
Let's leave it on a higher note than that.
Well, he did,
Get you back on the
certainly.
show again when you come in July. Is it July? Yeah.
Yes,
July.
you guys are going to be at the.
We're going to be
bash,
at all
or-
of them.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
those two at least.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I am really, this is actually therapy for me in essence. I don't do the microphone well. If I did, you would hear my voice a lot more often.
She was very drunk.
So I really had to get extremely high before I could come back here. But I'm just
So,
kidding. No.
Well, I have to talk to Stu, but we've been there every year, so I'm
Yeah,
sure,
of course.
I'm sure
yeah.
I'll be there this year.
But even if not, I'm going to be in for a little bit beforehand. Might have another one of those parties
Okay.
at the house.
So we'll bring you in again.
Yeah.
We'll bring you in.
yeah,
See,
for
it's
sure.
not bad. It's just you're just chatting with a few of us.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
people chatting
I
together.
enjoyed this. It was,
And next time we'll talk about, I don't know, butt sex.
what?
But
Butt
sex-
sex.
Butt sex.
That's
do
her.
often- we
That's
do
Fox's
often.
favorite topic.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I prefer fisting or queefing, but we'll talk about butt sex if you want.
I swear to God, we learn the greatest things about people on this show. You mentioned butt sex. Two things either happen. People are like, you can put it in your butt, or they're like, here is a diagram and a chart of how it is done inside your booty. Like, we get the best fucking
You know
Ladies-
my second favorite topic? Fisting.
fisting. We're gonna
Thank
interview
you
for
so
the
much.
four.
Thank you so much
I
for
know, we'll
coming.
bring someone.
Thank you very
Ladies,
much.
thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Now we know how to wrap up the show.
We don't know how to do it.
Last time we
It's a
just
hot
kept
mess
talking.
every
Yeah,
week.
we kept talking, and then we're like, "What is the end? What do we do?"
My name is Alexia,
Oh, we forgot that.
Rita.
Toxie.
And Sierra,
and we will see you next week.
if you're brave enough.
Later, bitches.